Well, Mondays are usually the most boring day starting the week. But, however, as always, I'll keep your Mondays fun and exciting. So, today, as you all know right about now, if you're MARIGOLD fans, the Dream Star Grand Prix has finally wrapped up. But, however, we're going to try to catch up with much as possible. So, as you know, I already reviewed, of course, the opening round matches. So, let's review, of course, three of them, which is day two, day three, and day four. We will catch up to the rest soon enough. So, let's just focus on this one. So, as you know, we're going to be seeing, of course, matches from one of each, from the Star League and the Dream League, and there's also other regular matches that we're going to be doing. And then, of course, as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is the channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping. Let's get cracking. So, as I mentioned, it's all about MARIGOLD, and we're going to continue reviewing, of course, the Dream Star Grand Prix 2025. So, let's get started with day two. Okay, day two, MARIGOLD, uh, Dream Star Grand Prix. This happened on the 3rd of August. Of August, and of course it took place in Hiroshima. Now we already did the opening round, but every single show they'll be throwing the opening ceremony, introducing who is participating. Now keep in mind this particular event only features two matches of the Grand Star of the Dream Star Grand Prix. My bad. So anyway, it's only the one for the League, Star League and Dream League. But there are some non-tournament matches as well, so we'll get through all of that. Now, our first match, we have a three-way. We have Nagisa Tachibana versus Hummingbird versus Nao Ishikawa. Now, of course, there is some factors you can tell that Hummingbird and Nao Ishikawa are the most experienced wrestlers in this match. And of course, Nagisa, I would say that maybe she has 1 year of experience. I mean, she hasn't picked up her biggest win yet, but she could get that maybe hopefully soon. However, this match ended with Hummingbird applying of course, bridge onto Tachibana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, our next match, we have the members of Darkness Revolution, Rhea Seto and Nagisa Nozaki, taking on Megaton, formerly of Darkness Revolution. She teams up with Kyoki Amori. Now, of course, Megaton is not really the most strongest wrestler. She's mostly been the weakest link in every match she's ever been to. I mean, she has picked up matches here and wins here and there. But of course, in my perspective from watching, she was the most likely weakest link in the entire, despite the fact the fans are behind her. And of course, like any other match, she got submitted by Nozaki, and just like that, she tapped out. But of course, Kyoki Amori was not happy with the result, but it is what it is. That's how things ended. Now, we jump into the first match of the Dream Star Grand Prix. We jump in with the Star League. Our first match, we have Mitsa Matsui versus Chanyota. Now, of course, these two ladies are already picked up, of course, some excellent wins in the entire time. However, many of you know, as Mitsa Matsui, a member of Darkness Revolution, she would do whatever it takes to pick up the win, and that's exactly what she's been doing. Not to mention, she has been rising to the occasion ever since then. I mean, we look at Chanyota, very powerful wrestler, powerhouse, but however, that did not do any good for her because somehow Mitsa Matsui outsmarted her by using the Techers on her, which is a move that Zack Sabre Jr. does, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. She received her next 2 points with the total of 4, leaving Chanyota in the total of 4 points. So we'll see how things will progress with these two down the line. Now, our next match, which is a Dream Star Grand Prix match, we have a 6-woman tag team match. We have Serene Flora, consistent of Kizuna Tanaka and Victoria Yuzuki. They team up with Mirai. They take on Minami Yuki, Chika Goto, and Mai Sakurai. So you probably can guess. And also, it's interesting that, as you all know, Mai Sakurai and Mirai are close friends. They even wrestled each other on various occasions whenever they can. And now that they actually are in the opposite side. So how will this turns out? Well, I wasn't too sure. I mean, there's a lot of strength coming. But in the end, it was in fact Victoria Yuzuki who picked up the win when she did a little twisty high jump onto Minami Yuki. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have part of the Dream Star Grand Prix, is the Dream League. We have Chiaki, a member of Darkness Revolution. She takes on the current MARIGOLD World Champion, Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, in perspective, you know Darkness Revolution will love nothing more for Chiaki to win, for obvious reasons. If she wins, she could, even if she does not win the tournament, she could most likely cash in an opportunity if she defeats her. That's one of the things that I'm sure they will love nothing more. But, however, Utami Ayashida, as being the ace of course, of MARIGOLD, you probably can tell she was not going to let that happen. And she put her in some sort of a helicopter position and then put her in a bomb type maneuver. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. She gains next 2 points with a total of 4, leaving, of course, Chiaki with a total points of 0. But like I said previous, we'll see how things will progress with these two more often. Now, our main event, we have another 6-woman tag team match. We have Yuka Yamasaki, Komomo Minami, and Miku Anu taking on Shino, Seri Yamaoka, and of course the icon herself, Mayu Iwatani. So of course, you can tell that many people would say, by hearing this match, you would think Mayu has it in the bag because she is a rising star. I mean, you got to look at the other girls too. I mean, you look at Seri Yamaoka, she's very sensational. I mean, she picked up great wins in her first start. People would have assumed that she would lose immediately, but no, it doesn't happen that much. But in the end, of course, it was Yamaoka who picked up a pretty good win by pinning, of course, Komomo, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, match is over. So it was a pretty good event. I have to say, for the 2 matches involving the Grand Prix, I'm really interested to see how things will go, because people are hoping that Utami Ashida could win, but some people were saying Mitsa Matsui, well, she looks like she has gaining more and more of what she needs to come out of her. But we'll see how things will progress from there. But as of right now, we're done with day 2 of MARIGOLD's Dream Star Grand Prix. let's move on with day 3. Okay, day 3 of MARIGOLD's Dream Star Grand Prix, and this took place on the 9th of August, I believe, in what's it called? In Maya, whatever it's called. It's also the homecoming of Mirai, so this most likely is the hometown of her. And of course, she was there to receive her bouquet of flowers from the locals, and of course, Utami Ayashida showed up, and I don't know what she said, but of course, everybody is there to support her. And of course, anybody asks, she is in the main event, in case anybody were wondering. Now, of course, like always, they did the opening ceremony of the Dream Star Grand Prix for introducing the participants of the tournament. But however, just like the previous review, it only had 2 matches, one for the Dream League and the other for the Stars. So we'll leave that as it is. Now, our first match, we have a singles action. We have Nagisa Tachibana versus Hummingbird. Now, I wouldn't be surprised that, of course, Nagisa will love nothing more to get a bit of a measure of revenge against Hummingbird for the loss she had in day 2 of the Grand Prix last time. So basically, that would have been the obvious thing. But of course, like last time, the results were still the same. Hummingbird was able to defeat her with the bridge, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match, we have a singles action match. We have Megaton versus Shino versus Nao Ishikawa. Now, of course, interesting factors you could tell, like Megaton has always been the most not similar to Waka, but mostly the one who loses her matches, which we've been seeing. Shino, as you all know, she is a second-generation wrestler like her mother, and of course, many people have given her high praises of what she has done in her first debut match against Mai Sakurai, and I have to say she's very impressive. Now Ishikawa, we all can say she has a bit of experience. Many of you like to call her the clone of Tam Nakano. But however, of course, I was surprised that Shino was the one who picked up the win when she applied a sharpshooter on Megaton, and just like that, she tapped out. It was over. Now, our next match, which is part of the Dream League, we have Chiaki taking on Kyuki Omori. Now, of course, when it comes to Chiaki as a member of Darkness Revolution, you all know she will do whatever it takes to get the win she needs in order to do so, by, of course, cheating her way through by softening her opponents outside the ring using the bloody chair. That's exactly what she tried to do, and of course, she was able to soften her up much as possible until she applied the guillotine leg drop, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. She gets her first 2 points. However, Kyuki Omori has only had 2 points ever since the opening round of the Grand Prix. My bad. Now, our next match, we have a 6-woman tag match. We have Yuka Yamasaki, Kizuna Tanaka, and Miku Anu. They take on Komomo Minami, Minami Yuki, and Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, when it comes to this type of match, many of you can see the factor of certain least experienced wrestlers, like Yuka Yamazaki is one, and of course, Komomo Minami, well, she is rising up, and so is Minami Yuki. But, however, when it comes to Utami Ayashida, many people would love nothing more to, of course, to pin her and get a shot of the red belt, which is something that many would want. But, however, that wasn't the case because the person who ended up on the wrong side of the German suplex by Utami Ayashida was Yuka Yamasaki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now we jump back into, of course, the Star League. Our next match, we have Chika Goto versus Mai Sakurai. Now, of course, many of you know that Mai Sakurai is the current United National Champion, aka the White Belt Champion. So Chika could, if she defeats Mai Sakurai, most likely she could get another opportunity of this. She can get an opportunity of this belt, and that's something I'm sure she will love nothing more to do. But however, it didn't do any well because Mai Sakurai, who has more experience than her. And not to mention, she was able to apply an STF, but however, Chika Goto was trying to move herself, tried to find ways to break off her position, but it didn't do any good until she made the decision to tap out, and just like that, it was over. But this leaves, of course, for Mai Sakurai to gain 2 more points, leaving her with a total of 4, leaving Chika Goto with a total of 2. So we'll see how these two will go down the road. Now, our main event is another 6-man tag team match. We have the members of Darkness Revolution, consistent of Rei Seto, Mitsu Matsui, and Nagisa Nozaki. They take on, of course, Seri Yamaoka, Victoria Yuzuki, and of course the hometown girl Mirai. Now, however, one thing that was interesting, and many of you don't know, Rei Seto and Victoria Yuzuki, as you know, during the last tour they did, Rei Seto stabbed Victoria Yuzuki in the back due to the fact that she said that you've been gaining a lot of popularity and I can't let that happen anymore. I can't allow you to outshine me. And I'm sure Victoria Yuzuki will love nothing more to get even with her. But however, it wasn't Victoria Yuzuki who took the victory on this one. It had to be, of course, the hometown girl herself, Mirai, and she did that by pinning Rei Seto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So I have to say the show was pretty good, despite the fact that only 2 matches involved in the Grand Prix, but I'm guarantee you that the next one, well, it was exactly what I was looking for. So let's move on to the next one, which is day 4 of MARIGOLD's Dream Star Grand Prix. Okay, final review of MARIGOLD's Dream Star Grand Prix. This is day 4. It took place on the 10th of August. And of course, it happened at the Sendai Pit. Of course, many of you know that very venue. Many promotions went there, such as, of course, Stardom, Sendai Girls, Marvelous, and all that. And of course, we opened up with the opening ceremony, as always, which I don't need to do that often. But let's get started with the first match. Our first match, we have tag team action. We have Nagisa Tachibana teaming up with Yuka Yamazaki. They take on Hummingbird and Nao Ishikawa. Now, I failed to mention this in day 2. Nao Ishikawa and Hummingbird had like a bit of a, let's just say that Nao Ishikawa was not too pleased with Hummingbird taking the match. She felt it should have been her. And now they team up. Now, of course, factors are, you would say, well, these two will get along. Well, watching them, they seem like they are trying, but it's all about who takes the glory on this one, from what I can tell. And if you probably ask me who got that, well, that turned out to be, of course, Nao Ishikawa, when she did like some sort of power slam onto Nagisa Tachibana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, we have another 3-way. We have Chiaki versus Megaton versus Mirai. So, of course, in any aspects of this type of match, you probably will look at Megaton being the one who would take the fall. But, of course, I'm sure Chiaki will love nothing more to humiliate Megaton. As you all know, Megaton used to be a member of Darkness Revolution until she was kicked out. And, of course, however, it was Mirai who won by, of course, submitting Megaton. And just like that, it was over. Now, our match is part of the tournament, the Star League. We have Nagisa Nozaki versus Chanyota. Now, of course, when it comes to Nagisa Nozaki, as a member of Darkness Revolution, we all know what her tactics are. She would do whatever it takes to win by, of course, taking her outside the ring and softening her up as much as possible. Now, Chanyota being the strongest competitor I've seen so far, she did hang on as much as possible, but unfortunately that wasn't enough until Nagisa Nozaki put her in a sleeper hold, and the ref had to call it when he realized that there was no movement coming from her, and that was it. So, however, Nagisa Nozaki gained a total points of 2, leaving her, of course, with a total of 4, leaving Chanyota remaining still at 4 points. Now, our next match, we have an 8-woman tag match. We have team number 1, Minami Yuki, Chika Goto, Kyuki Amori, Miku Anu, They take on Shino, Komomo Minami, Kizuna Tanaka, and Utami Ayashida. Now, of course, many of you know the situation when it comes to Utami Ayashida. As I mentioned previously, if anybody pins her, they most likely could get an opportunity to cash in a shot of the MARIGOLD World Championship. But I have to say, the match was pretty good. I mean, normally you probably will love to see other talents pick up good wins. And I have to say, many of you who know this, Chika Goto and Hyoki Omori, they're known as Twin Towers. They haven't been teaming up that much, but I felt like they really got back to their tag teaming roots, and they were able to pick up the win when, of course, Chika Goto applied a power slam onto Komomo and leaving Hyoki Omori, who was the legal person in the match, applying the Amersit butterfly and on Komomo, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now we continue with the Star League matches. We have Mitsa Matsui versus Mai Sakurai. Now this is a measure of revenge, in my opinion, for Mitsa Matsui. For those who don't know, during the last tour, Mitsa Matsui issued a challenge for Mai Sakurai's championship, the United National Championship, and she lost. Now, of course, like I said previously, if she defeats her, she could get an opportunity of the belt, and that's something I'm sure she will love nothing more to do. And that's exactly, now remember, as a member of Darkness Revolution, she will love nothing more to try to defeat her, and that's exactly what she did. And what's surprising, she picked up a pretty good win when she applied the Tekker on her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Mitsa Matsui, now it has the total points of 6, leaving Mai Sakurai with the total points of 4. So, but however, as I mentioned, if she does not win the tournament, she can cash in an opportunity for the white belt. So we'll see how things will progress from there. Now, our next two matches, which are our semi-main event and our main event, is part of the Dream League of the Dream Star Grand Prix. We have Rhea Seto versus Mayu Iwatani. Now, of course, Rhea Seto, as you know, she will love nothing more to defeat the Icon, because that is something that many wrestlers would want. They want to be the one to defeat the Icon. That's always been like a game, kind of like the white whale that you want to hunt down and put the whale out of its misery. And of course, Rhea Seto will definitely try to do that. But however, that wasn't enough for her, because as you know, as much as we know Mayu, as great that she is, she was able to pick up the victory with the German suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. She gained her next 2 points with the total points of 2, while leaving, of course, Rhea Seto, I think, in the total points of 2, I believe. I'm not sure, but yes. But one thing that was I alluded here: if Rhea Seto would have defeated Mayu Iwatani, she would have get an opportunity of the Superfly Championship, which she's currently have in her possession. But we'll see how that goes. Now, our next match, we have Seri Yamaoka taking on Victoria Yuzuki. I have to say, this match was fantastic. Obviously, because we all know these two ladies are amazing. I mean, Seri Yamaoka was very impressive when she first came out. And not to mention, she was racking up wins right when she started. And not to mention, winning the Twin Star Championship with Nana Takahashi. But Victoria Yuzuki, you all know, she was very impressive too when she debuted and won the Stardom Rookie of the Year of 2023. And we all know where she was aiming for, and that's exactly what she did. And I wasn't too sure where it was, but however, Victoria Yuzuki was able to come up with the victory when she defeated her with the crucifix, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. She is now with the total points of 6, which was impressive. So we'll see how things roll for them. So as of right now, we are officially done with this. Now we will continue with more of MARIGOLD to catch up with all of the Grand Prix events, and we'll see how that rolls. But as of right now, let's move on with our last and final thing, and that is, of course, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, we do have some GCW updates, mostly from this one. We have the Keep in Touch event that takes place on the 19th of September in Phoenix, Arizona. And they announced one called Manders will take on a man like the Reese. And then, of course, the following day, they make their pit stop to LA for the Homecoming LA at the UCC on the 20th of September. They announced Atticus Cogar will take on Vipers. And then finally, as you know, we have the Josh Barnett's Bloodsport in London on the 28th of September. And two more names have been mentioned for this upcoming event. Ryan Davies and Mark True. So I may have heard of Mark True, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So that's pretty much the GCW. However, as you know, there's the promotion known as ICW No Holds Barred. They announced that they will be doing a 2026 tour in Japan. This is the dates that they have for the locations. On March 24th and the 25th, they will be doing a 2-day show in Tokyo. And then, of course, I believe maybe a week later, they will be doing a show in Osaka on the 28th of March, and then on another one in Nagoya on the 29th. So that's going to be interesting. Excuse me. Now for some developments. We want to give congratulations to Nigel Mcguiness and his partner Coyote. They had just announced that they're expecting their first child, a child together. So congratulations, dude. Now, there's been talk about, of course, recently about Claudio Castagnoli. Fightful Select reports this. As you all know, Claudio has been with the promotion with AEW for the last 3 years. And, of course, people has been asking about their contract status. Now, of course, it's typical that people are asking this because some say he's better off being with WWE, which obviously is something that we all know that they want. But keep in mind, guys, they never gave Claudio Castagnoli the bigger opportunity to be at the top of the mountain as the WWE champion. But of course, they said that his deal, it has a very long, very substantial time. So that means it still goes anyway. So it's still unclear when. So if there's any new information about this, I'll let you guys know. Now, recently, Rey Mysterio was on Club 520. Apparently, it was Rey's wife was the one who realized that her son, as you know, Dominic Mysterio, will become a heel. And he kind of explained it a little bit about that. Let me pull that up. He says, "Deep down in my thoughts, I've always said I knew that he's going to be something bigger than what I did, but I didn't know how. My wife was the first one to spot and point out that she never saw him as a good guy. She always saw him as the bad guy in the ring, which now it makes complete sense. She spent more time with him than I did because I was traveling so much. But to see his growth over the past 4 years, how he just evolved into this character, has embraced it and much completely owns it, is awesome, man. His confidence is, I wish I had some of that when I was his age, and I wish I knew that he knew how. Now that I was his age, I had no clue. I was learning as I was going. But I think a huge factor in this that he's thrown his right away to swim with the sharks, and he figured that out. He learned how to swim with the sharks. So I think personally that's why he's in the spot that he's in now. So yeah, so it turns out that, of course, his wife Angie was the one who spotted on that he was going to be a heel. You know, this is one of those things of character-wise where we don't know for sure what if the character would be good as a heel or a babyface. Now, for those who know, like the Young Bucks, for example, they always said they felt more comfortable being the heels, and that's very common, and that's something we definitely could see. Now, as you know, I reported something about Dragon Lee, talking about, of course, there was been talks about his contract status will be done within 3 months. Now, I said that I wasn't if this was not 100% confirmed yet. There have been rumors about that, and this was coming out just recently. Apparently, someone spoke to sources about Dragon Lee. It says that he has close to 1 year remaining with his WWE contract. So basically, that's what it is. So it seems that the 3 months were something else. but now he has 1 year. Now, we haven't heard anything if he's going to renew his contract or a new deal has been made. So we'll stay close to that, for sure. Now, our last development, as you all know, Kyle Fletcher was talking about Aussie Open, which is the tag team name with his buddy Mark Davis. As you all know, Mark Davis has been out of action for a while due to an injury. He's currently back in Australia, and Fletcher spoke about this. Let me pull it out. I was 18 years old when we started teaming. I didn't know who I was as a person yet, let alone a wrestler. So having my best friend with me there for all the stuff, it was so helpful in many ways. I'm not sure if I would ever had the same success that I did myself at the time, without doubt. I would not be where I am today without him. He's meant so much to me. There's a lot of the injuries he suffered. As a friend, I'm seeing it's been very hard. It's very difficult because I want the success that I have for him. I care so deeply about him. I want him to experience that, but for speaking for him, he kind of sees my success as his success in a way which really is cool, which makes feel good about it, that I can see almost do this thing for both of us. That's not to say he won't come back, absolutely kill it, when he's back from his injuries. So yeah, so it's very interesting to hear that Kyle Fletcher feels like he owed a lot to Mark Davis for being at his side as his tag partner and getting all this success. But deep down he feels like, I'm getting all the success as singles run, and I feel bad that he's not going to feel it. But for Mark Davis, he feels like, hey, your success is my success too. I was the one who got you here. And I think maybe Kyle Fletcher would do the same thing for him too, if that's the case. But it's still unclear when he'll be back. I know he's currently back in Australia, so it's still unsure when or where. So if there's any information about Mark Davis' status on that, I'll let you guys know as soon as possible. So as of right now, we are officially done with everything, so let's just call it a day. Okay, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode. Now, before I proceed on, I will catch up with the entirety of the Dream Star Grand Prix. Now, as I mentioned earlier at the start of this episode, that they already wrapped up the entirety of the tournament. My friend is falling off. So, we'll see how things will go. But as of right now, for our next episode, NXT will be doing the homecoming back at Full Sail. As you know, this is the same venue where it all began for them, and it's great to see some past wrestlers who used to be part of NXT who are currently part of the main roster. So I can't wait to review for that. If there's any other events that I'm planning to review, I'll let you guys know. But I am trying to catch up also with Pro Wrestling Noah, so I missed out already with Day 3, Day 4, and Day 5 of the N1 victory. So we'll see how things will go from there. I may try to keep this with a 2 or maybe possibly 3 review episode due to the fact that the following day I may have some other things going on, but we'll see how that rolls up. If not, I'll try something else. So as of right now, I'll leave things as it is. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day.